Okay, this is what's happening. I've got about 80 hours to get from here in New York City to Los Angeles for my flight to London. But I don't want to just drive. I want to do something epic. So, along the way, I want to showcase the beauty that is America, the beauty that is taking photos in America. It's the mountains, it's the plains, it's the mosaic of cultures and people here. So starting here in New York City, I'm not just driving to LA. I'm gonna be doing 10 photography meetups with YouTube viewers and 10 photo shoots with them, hoping to capture the beauty of the country, not only in photos of the destinations I'm in, but of the people that join me along the journey. And I think that this is gonna be amazing. I hope it goes smoothly, and I hope that I can make it all happen. 80 hours, 10 photos, 10 meetups from New York to LA. Let's get started. I'm calling this road trip B versus America, but only because it's a kind of a play on my name, BVS America, hashtag BVS America. And the first stop of this epic road trip across America in photos is here in New York City. And what an incredible spot to start this road trip. New York City always just fills me with this energy, this crazy wild energy that inspires me to create. And I'm really looking forward to getting out and taking a picture, especially because the weather has just been pouring rain all day today. And it seems like it's gonna stop at least for a minute. And hopefully I can get a cool photo here of the Manhattan skyline or Brooklyn Bridge from this location. And hopefully some people show up even though it's kind of rainy. Hey, what's going on?
How's it going, Brendan?
How you doing, man? Brendan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Meetup number 1 was awesome. I was really concerned about the rain, but I think I still got a cool photo. And more importantly than the photo, met some really cool people. We kind of hung out, we chatted, we talked about photography, travel, life, and that's what it's all about, meeting people and building community. And now it's on to Pittsburgh. I gotta get to Pittsburgh for sunrise tomorrow, so I better hit the road. I might have gotten through the photo shoot in New York without rain, but immediately I regretted dubbing the trip B versus America. It wasn't like an attack on America, it was just me playing on my initials, but it seemed like the weather here in the US took it personally. I'm about 35 minutes, I think, from Pittsburgh. I'm gonna sleep here. I didn't mention this, but on this trip, the plan is to sleep in the car. So back here, I've got my mat set up. I've got my I think it's -10 sleeping bag, -10 Celsius. And it's gonna come in handy because it's cold right now. In fact, if you look around, there's snow everywhere. It's 33 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just above freezing. And I guess it's time to get some sleep. So I made it to Pittsburgh. It was a miserable drive this morning, pouring rain, lots of fog. And kind of magically, as I got to Pittsburgh, it turned to a light drizzle. It's still cold, probably about 3 degrees Celsius. But the good news is, you can see the skyline. I saw it on the drive up. And the better news is, it looks like one of the coolest skylines I've ever seen. So I guess time to head over to this location and see if anybody else is gonna join me. I will highly doubt it if there's anybody there. Ooh, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good morning.
I'm Brendan.
Hey, Brendan, I'm Betty. Nice to meet you.
So way too many people came up. You guys should go back to bed. They will. There's like massive fog. And we can't even see downtown. And you can't see anything. But this is everybody crowd in. Selfie. We're gonna just like, it's gonna look hilarious. Do something crazy.
Should we do like a gangster one?
Yeah, we should do like a. People in this country, they're not deterred by bad weather. They're fighters. And despite the weather being as bad as it possibly could, there was a bunch of warm, friendly faces waiting for me when I got there. That was another awesome meetup, more awesome people, And I'm surprised that so many people came out when it was rainy and foggy. And amazingly, right when the light was really good, the fog just rolled in and blocked off the skyline. So didn't get an epic photo, but I did get a photo. And I'm happy and ready to move on to Chicago. I am a little bit concerned though, because I realized this rental car I picked up in California, it's got Arizona plates, and I looked at the forecast for Chicago and it's been snowing a lot. And it's like minus 10 degrees or something like that overnight. And I'm looking at the tires and they're sport tires. They're definitely not winter tires. They're definitely not all season tires. And there's very little tread on them, like very, very little tread. Wish me luck. I made it to like maybe about an hour until Chicago, and the drive's been absolutely phenomenal, so beautiful. But one of the obvious problems of like cruising the interstate, of driving the entirety of America in 80 hours, is you can't really stop. And as a non-photographer, that's probably kind of cool. You kind of just cruise along, seeing the beauty of it all out of your window. As a photographer, it's kind of painful. I've just been cruising past all these incredible scenes of winter, of like farm homesteads, of just like these images that might be like the quintessential image of this part of America, like this beautiful farmstead barn and this wintry scene, almost minimalist within all the white. And it's been a bit of a challenge not being able to photograph that, but it's been beautiful to look at. And the roads have been amazing. It's freezing. It's absolutely cold. And as you can tell, it's snowing right now. It's about -3, -4 degrees, but the roads have been amazing. So good, so safe. So massive shout out to the men and women that are cruising along all night, all morning, cleaning the roads on the snow plows and sand trucks. Your work is totally appreciated by me, and I'm sure everybody else. Now, I'm gonna show you my office. Let me take you into my office. This is the office. This is also where I slept last night. I've got a charging setup in here so I can charge my laptop and get some work done. You can also charge all the camera batteries in there. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do actually right now, is jump on this laptop and get a little bit of work done. I'm like 2 hours early getting to Chicago, but I don't wanna burn myself out and get there too quick. So I'm gonna work for like maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then actually I'm probably gonna have a nap for like an hour and charge up again and then hit the road into Chicago. Almost in this magical way, when I got to Chicago, the snow just stopped. And this winter wonderland paradise appeared. Whew, that car nap was magical and refreshing. You know what else is magical? Chicago. This place is amazing, especially in all the snow. There's like 2 feet of snow up. People are out skating, and hopefully people show up to the meetup as well. It's just over at the Magic Bean, the Cloud Gate, which is like 1 block over that way. Let's go. It was cold, it was below freezing, but just a really cool crew showed up. You have to pretend that you're happy to see me. We're happy. We're happy, I swear. The driving drained me, and every time I stopped for a meetup, it just sprung me back to life, filled me with energy. Whew, Chicago put on a little bit of a light show. I'm gonna have trouble posting 1 photo from here. The goal is only 10 photos, but I'm gonna be honest, I took probably like 30 photos at that spot. But I'm gonna share 1 photo from here in Chicago. Chicago, add it to my list along with Pittsburgh of places I need to come back to. I need to spend like a week just shooting all the beautiful places here in Chicago. Hopefully though, I'll come back in the fall when it's a little bit warmer. And I guess now it's time to hit the icy highways to Omaha, Nebraska. So I stopped at a truck stop really quickly off camera and got a bit of a shower. Now I'm at a rest stop just outside of Omaha, and this is where tomorrow's meetup's happening. It's cold out. It says 4 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is about minus 15 Celsius. My sleeping bag's only good to minus 8. It might be a cold night, but I guess worst case scenario, I just turn the engine on in the car. So I'm gonna climb back there and I'll see you guys in the morning. When I woke up in the morning in Omaha and drove towards the location, it was 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, I did not expect anybody to be there.
Oh, it is cold. I've made it to my location in Omaha and nobody's here. I didn't think anybody was gonna turn up to this location, to this meetup in this part. And then there was like one person that was giving me hope that somebody would show up here.
But yet there was this guy already tripod set up, already knocking out some cool images and just waiting there with like a warm smile and a welcome to Omaha. And after getting some decent light at this barn that we found, I moved on. I headed towards Colorado, and that drive hurt. I lost my sunglasses and apparently they were just in the mess in the back of this car. And that's what made that trip hard. It wasn't even the flatness, it wasn't even the monotony, it was the lack of sunglasses, because it was just so bright and white that my eyes just felt scorched and sunburned by the end of the day. Whew, this is a long stretch. This is the stretch actually of the whole trip that I've been most concerned about. You know, at least making it on time for the meetup. From Omaha to Vail, it's like 8.5 hours driving, and I have only 8.5 hours to get between meetups. But I benefit because of the fact that there's an extra hour because of the time difference. So it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, the snow and the prairies are just absolutely stunning, but it's also a bit of a mission. It's not the most exciting thing. It's a little bit monotonous. And up until now, the thing that's been getting me through is the music. I've just been jamming out like crazy to, you know, some old school punk rock, to some reggaeton. And of course some crazy stuff like MC Loma. And that's been getting me through, but I'm at this point in the drive now that I'm feeling like I've listened to every song in the world and I'm sick of music and it's starting to drive me crazy. So I'm trying podcasts, but I have a hard time getting into podcasts, and yeah, this is the tough stretch of the road. Woo! I see mountains! Finally! Finally! Four things, it's so windy. Second thing, I'm in the mountains. Third thing, the drive across the prairies was beautiful, but I lost my sunglasses. And I spent most of the drive driving like this. To try to block out the light, my eyes are just glazed over. They feel sunburned. And the fourth thing is, because my eyes feel burnt, I'm gonna take a 30-minute nap before heading to Lake Dillon, I think, to meet up and shoot. And I got to Colorado, met up with the few people that came out for that meeting, and the light had this amazing look to it. It just had this really exciting look to it. And then it just... So you just have to pretend you're happy, which is really hard, like, because that light sucked.
It did suck.
That's okay.
Oh, well.
New rule, if you come to a meetup, you have to bring a dog. That's the new rule. The dog made the fact that there was like no light at all at this one. So I got one photo at the start that's kind of okay. And I guess worst case scenario is like we get to leave early and I get to hit the road faster. So onward to Moab. And as we drove away, some snow rolled in. Honestly, this drive was the most scared I think I've ever been while handling a vehicle. Coming down the pass, I think towards Vail, I'm not really sure, and it's a blizzard. It is insane. And I'm currently going 20 miles an hour and I'm going 5 miles an hour faster than traffic. This is the most scared I've ever been driving. I have no visibility at all. You can see the snow behind me. Look at this. This is insane. Absolutely insane, and I don't know what to do because I can't see. There was times I had no idea what part of the road I was in. At this point, I think the smart thing to do is probably to wait for a snowplow. At least then I'll have lines. I have no lines, and everything's just white on the ground, and yeah, this is kind of unnerving, and I really just kind of want to go to sleep. I couldn't see what was around me because it was nighttime. On one side, there was times it was a rock wall. On the other side, at times it was a barrier or sometimes a cliff, and I had no idea. I just kind of kept going, hoping, occasionally almost crashing into a barrier and occasionally sliding sideways. So I'm calling it a night. The visibility is too low, the tires aren't good enough, there hasn't been a plow in ages. I just drove on a little bit farther, and yeah, it's just way too dicey. So the forecast says that it's supposed to stop in the middle of the night. So I'm at some gas station. I'm just gonna sleep in the back of the car here, and then I'll head off early in the morning, and hopefully some plows have cleared this up. This wasn't supposed to happen. I researched this whole trip, planned everything, like even 4 days before the trip started, and it said that none of this was supposed to happen. So this is kind of all come out of nowhere. It's disappointing, but at least it's exciting. I guess I'm going to sleep. And after I filmed that little bit, I decided actually to keep driving. I am a snowplow. This is f***ing crazy. I eventually pulled over in Grand Junction and slept. Just a minute ago I was in fog, and I'm coming up to Dead Horse State Park, plowing through some snow. Luckily, it looks like somebody else has just come before me, so there's some tracks to follow. And I've come above the fog, and it is absolutely incredible up here. Oh my God, all that craziness of last night has totally been made worth it by this. Oh my God. I could take a picture right here, but I'm gonna push on and hopefully find the other guys. Oh my God, that was crazy.
Oh, I drove in my Honda Civic.
Well, yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's impressive.
Nice. How you doing, man? I think Brent's still in the car sleeping.
And it was good to see familiar faces. I needed that. Made it to Dead Horse State Point, and unfortunately it's in fog. Mike's been up here for a while shooting. Sunrise happened like 5 minutes ago, but I think I'm gonna call an audible and we're gonna drive back to where that epic light was. I met Brent and Mike at another one of these meetups in Phoenix, and they were actually going to join me, not just for the morning shoot, but they were going to drive with me all the way to Valley of Fire State Park in Nevada. And just having that support, that little bit of support group extended beyond that one meetup, was really valuable at that time. I really kind of needed the company at that time. And then at Valley of Fire State Park, we kind of botched the timings. We forgot about the time change. And it turns out that we were an hour early. I scouted this out like a couple weeks ago with Jody. I loved this scene here, looking straight down towards that peak down this road. And when we walked up and scouted this out just now, I saw another rock way down in the foreground, and I think that'll be a cool place to stand to give this some scale. So I'm gonna go down and stand there, and I'm gonna give this shot right now in case the light doesn't go off later. Then enjoy the sunset. We've got like a full hour and a half here. Where are we? Valley of Fire.
I have no idea where I am anymore.
About 10 o'clock, I got to Joshua Tree. I sent a message out to the group earlier saying, is anybody gonna be here? Is anybody gonna come? And nobody replied. But I still wanted to come here and try to get a photo, but I've come here and it's cloudy. And to be honest, I'm kind of a little bit relieved because I am exhausted and I need some sleep. So I'm going to walk out into the field, find any Joshua tree, and take a picture of it. And then 3 hours later, I headed to LA. And as if B versus America just needed one more punch, I got stuck in the worst LA traffic. 4:35 in the morning and LA traffic was already just wreaking all sorts of havoc on me. But I got there. I got to the beach on time, more or less. And it was just this great sigh of relief. I made it to Santa Monica Pier, but I'm really late. It was just, traffic was crazy. Sunset's already happened, sunrise, has already happened. My clock is twisted. And I'm wondering if there's gonna be any people down here for this meetup. We made it to LA though. Act happy. And that takes us to here. Sitting in the car park of the airport filming this voiceover. And I've been battling, trying to figure out how I wanted to end this video. Part of me wanted to talk about this beautiful mosaic that actually is the United States of America. I wanted to talk maybe about perseverance. But in the end, I think I want to talk about friendship. And you're probably thinking, friendship? You literally sat in a car by yourself for like 55 hours. How can you talk about friendship? But bear with me. Travel photography is the greatest job in the world. There's literally no job in the world that I would trade for this one. But it's also incredibly lonely at times. And yes, I have Jody, and yes, that helps. But loneliness isn't just about your partner, it's about having familiar surroundings. It's about seeing the mailman that you recognize. It's about seeing the clerk at the gas station that you recognize. It's about having an air of familiarity around you. That helps with loneliness on a deeper level. And I think that community is the real key to fixing loneliness. And I really feel like a strong community is the fabric that we should all be relying on in this world. It's something I think our society needs more of. And I talk about community a lot on this channel. And I talk about this channel as an opportunity to grow together, to get better together, to support each other, to criticize each other constructively. But I think maybe this trip, more than anything, has reminded me that I need the community more than any of you do, and how grateful I am to that community. I started this trip with this idea that within a few days of ending it, that this channel should hit 50,000 subscribers. As I drove through Nebraska and Colorado and Illinois and Iowa, it kind of dawned on me that I don't have 50,000 subscribers. This channel doesn't have 50,000 subscribers. I don't have 50,000 fans. What I have is 50,000 friends. And this trip put faces on those friends. Some of them that I've had for years. I met Justin in Colorado at the meetup there, and I don't know how long Justin's been following the channel, but he's been commenting for ages now. And I'm sure that Justin has seen me go through a lot over these years. He's seen me go through breakups. He's seen me go through self-doubt. He's seen me go through battles. He's seen me go through positive things as well. And he's actually probably got a better insight into my life than a lot of my close friends do. And I think that was a really powerful reminder that this channel isn't one way. This channel isn't me giving to you or me communicating to you. This channel is about me and you guys and girls. 50,000 friends, a community 50,000 strong, a community that can do so much good, a community that can support one another, help one another, push one another, and knock us down sometimes when we need it too. So the most valuable thing I got from this trip was just this realization that individually we might be one cool person or 50,000 cool people. But together we're something bigger than that. We're something more dynamic and something more powerful than that. When I started my travels, I really focused on epic adventures. I drove a scooter all the way down Africa for 2 years. And my goal in doing that was always the same. It was to send across the message that here's this guy, BVS, who's just a normal guy, an average guy in absolutely every single way, but he's living a life that's epic. And he's doing things that are epic, and he's pushing himself, and he's pushing the people around him. Here's this average guy that can do incredible things. And I think that one of the biggest battles we always have as human beings is that we're always worried that we're just average. And being average is totally cool. Being average is fine, because being average doesn't define you, it's what you do. And I think that in the back of my mind, I've been wanting to show that again. And that's what this trip came down to. I wanted to pull off this epic adventure that everybody said I couldn't do. When I did that Africa trip, everybody was commenting, can't do it, it's too crazy, it's too tough, you'll never make it. When I posted that I was going to do this trip, the comments were the same. Too tough, impossible, you need a second driver, you can't do that, you'll die doing that. And for me, it's not about proving the naysayers wrong, it's about showing people that you can do it. And that if you want to do it, you can do it. And that if you have a goal and an ambition, and if you put your mind to it, there's really nothing you can't accomplish. And you don't need to be famous. You don't need to be 6'8". You can just be an average person. Hell, you can be a below average person and still do things if you really work on it. And I hope that this trip has put forward both of those ideas. The idea that I'm just like you guys, and I'm just like you ladies. We're in this together. This trip was emotional, man. And it's emotional right now. And some of you are probably thinking the reason BVS is going off like this right now, the reason he's emotional is because he's overtired. Maybe you're right, but this was inspiring. And I don't think you guys maybe you did. You didn't see that, but this was inspiring for me. And it was inspiring to know the amount of support that this community has. And it was inspiring to know how many people go out of their way in snowstorms and cold weather and rain just to support one another. And I hope that this video can encourage you to support each other the way you supported me. And I hope that I can also support you guys the way you've supported me. So I think that's all I want to say. Trying not to get too emotional. And yeah, I got a plane to catch. I don't think I'm going to vlog the experience of the flight because I need a break. And I can't say that I've ever in my life looked more forward to 10 hours sitting down on an airplane. So the next time you'll see me is on the other end. I'm heading to Wales. I'll see you guys in the UK. Peace, and thank you. Thank you for the support.